Okay, so one of the categories, I guess you could say, of bad movies that I really always seem to enjoy watching is old kung fu movies. Because basically, I don't know, it's hard for me to go wrong with them. Most of the time they tend to be really cheesy, goofy, badly translated. The voiceover actors tend to do a really bad job. They have weird sound effects that make everything more entertaining. Best case scenario, you're going to have like a really fun time. At worst, they tend to still have pretty good action and fight scenes. The choreography is always really good. So like since I enjoy martial arts anyway, then I often find myself watching this and just enjoying myself, even if the rest of the movie isn't that fun. Just the fighting all the time is great. So, Martial Monks of Shaolin Temple. I got this because it stars Dragon Lee, and it's directed by Godfrey Ho, and I've seen a bunch of Dragon Lee movies already, and they're all directed by Godfrey Ho. Godfrey Ho makes some of the cheesiest, most ridiculous kung fu movies you've ever seen, so I knew I was in for a good time. Thing is, though, this movie managed to do something that no other movie has ever done. It actually made me tired of kung fu movies. Like, after this, I was like, I can't watch any more kung fu. For like months, maybe even 6 months or a year, I was just like, no, I can't watch kung fu anymore. I'm just sick of it. So how did this movie do that? I'll tell you how. Every single scene in this movie is a fight scene. Now, how did they manage this? Oh, they have like 6 different subplots. And anytime one of the plots doesn't call for a fight scene, they'll just go over to another plot line and there'll be a fight scene there. So you'll have things like this one character has to go on a journey and it's going to be a while before he gets there, so nothing's happening with this guy. Let's go over to this guy who, a bunch of thugs jumped him for no reason. So now he's fighting those guys. But now let's come back to this guy. Oh, it looks like he stopped at a restaurant. Oh, but looks like some of the patrons are unruly and they're trying to pick a fight with him that he doesn't want to fight, but they're really wanting to fight him for some reason, and so now he has to fight them. And meanwhile, over here, and it just does this all throughout the movie, just fight scene, one after another, with like almost no connection. Like, I don't remember any one of these plots other than there's a master who was killed, because there's always a master who was killed, and someone has to avenge them. And so that's like one of the plot lines. I don't even remember what the others are. I think what was most fun about this movie was the very beginning and the very end. Because the very beginning, I love how the sound of like the old monks chanting. And then it just completely glazes over an entire conversation. The guy runs up, and all of a sudden it's already it's like, oh, you tell me that he was killed? We must go.
What's that you say? Master's being killed?
And I love his, like, commanding, let's go!
Amitoba. Let's go!
And then they go to check it out, and they don't even make it even close to the way there before they're already ambushed by guys, including this guy with this hilariously bad wig, who's a recurring villain throughout the movie. And they do some pretty impressive kung fu, and the one guy drops dead for no apparent reason, but whatever, it's really funny. And then it just, like, endless fight scenes until the very end. All the little plot threads are all tied up, and then the one character turns to the other, and she's like, what do we do now? He's like, there's a chapel up on that hill, let's go get married. And she just smiles, and it says the end. And, like, there's no hint whatsoever of romance between them this entire time. And they're just walking along, and all of a sudden he's like, let's get married. She's like, yes. And that is the end of the movie.
So tell me, where do we go from here?
There's a temple on the hill. Let's get married.
I would recommend watching the beginning and ending of this movie and skipping past the middle. It's just so exhausting. It's just nothing but fighting. Like, if you've seen this movie and you could point me to one scene in this movie that's not a fight scene, I will be surprised.